how do we create a successful and fulfilling life? What are the components necessary for that? Why are some people happy and in the flow, and many of us not so much? What are the forces at play, and how can we change them? Remember that at all times, everything we want in life is always there. There are always enough people to fall in love with. There's always enough money, cool jobs, relaxing places. The only question is, can we make these things our reality, our life, or not? And if we can't, why not? Einstein says, everything is energy, and that's all there is. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So the question is, can the energies we want, the money, love, fulfillment, or happiness, flow through us easily? Or are we living life clipped up from these energies like a bent garden hose? Let's take a look at this in more detail. If you look at this graphic, what's happening in most people's lives is that they can't attract what they really want for life. Remember, everything is always out there. The money, jobs, houses, love, etc. The second problem is that we often can't focus the energies and resources that we do have into our desired outcome. Oftentimes because we don't know exactly what we want, what our desired outcome, our focus in life, or our purpose is. And as a painful consequence, most of us feel a sense of stress or struggle, in some areas of life at least. A sense of dis-ease, which ultimately can turn into a physical disease. There are some areas in our life where our hose just feel clipped off, where there's no flow, no ease. Maybe your work-life balance, conflicts you have with somebody, or you feel about money, or your desire to pursue something that you really would love to do, such as moving to New Zealand to become a mountain guide. Now, take a look at this graphic. This is the state of being we are all striving for, where we can access the resources and things we want in our life, where we are focused on a certain purpose, and where we feel a sense of ease in our life, a sense of flow and connectedness instead of struggle and conflict. Would you agree? The question is, how do we get from here to there, from the left to the right side? In other words, what is the thing, this lens, that determines whether your life works according to the left graphic or the one on the right? We have found that there are actually two lenses at play, which determine whether you experience stress and dis-ease, or whether you experience a sense of flow and ease. We actually looked at the first lens during the first segment of this module, your gifts, your talents, your authentic personality, and your purpose. Remember the example with Frank, my venture capital colleague. I was grinding away with the spreadsheets, suffering over business plans and negotiating contracts, while Frank was enjoying every bit of it. In my day-to-day work, I was so removed from my authentic personality and my talents that my first lens was closed. My garden hose was clipped off, and as a consequence, I was frustrated and exhausted. But even if the first lens is wide open, even if we follow our gifts and talents, there is still the second lens. Look at many artists, for example. They may absolutely love what they do, but many struggle immensely with money. They do what they love, but they're broke. So if we say, just be yourself, or just follow your dreams, we often forget about the second lens. We call the second lens our emotional mental system, or in short, our emotional system, or EMS. Our emotional system is basically a blueprint, our inner thermostat that determines our habits, our behaviors, our actions, and therefore it ultimately determines the results and success in our life. Let me repeat that. Our emotional system is the blueprint, our inner thermostat that determines our habits, our behaviors, our actions, and therefore the results and success in our life. Our emotional system determines whether we act in power, where we are in the flow of life, and where we act out of power, where we are acting from fear. So if you want to experience more flow, ease, or abundance in life, we need to open both lenses. First, by providing clarity about your authenticity, we have done that in segment 1. And secondly, by providing clarity about your emotional system. That's what we will do in this segment. I want you to imagine a broken pipeline on the bottom of the ocean. See how the oil is flowing out of the pipeline and how it causes a large oil spill on the surface of the ocean. Usually, our strategy in life is to clean up the surface. We try to eliminate the things we don't want in life. Let's say we have a problem with someone in the office. We look for outside solutions. We try to solve the problem with them, and if that doesn't work, we avoid bumping into them at the water cooler. Most of the time, we do not pay attention to the underlying cause for our struggles, the leak in the pipeline, our emotional system, which caused the problem to begin with. If we want to effectively change something in our lives, the way we work, earn money, or improve our relationships, we must do something about the hole in the pipeline. We must look at our emotional system. Unfortunately, there's a small caveat. To go to the bottom of the ocean, to the cause of the problem, clearly is a little more challenging than a superficial cleanup. But I guarantee that once you do, you can fix the source of any issue of your life. And that will have a positive ripple effect into every aspect of your life. Once you become conscious and accountable for your emotional system, we have found over and over that not only the work and business of our clients improve, but also their general well-being, their personal and professional relationships, and even their overall life experience. Before we go into a deeper understanding of your emotional system, let me give you a definition of it, a general description. The emotional system is a filter made up from the emotional reactions, the thoughts, the issues, and the in and out of power behaviors of an individual or a team. In the areas where the emotional system is functional, an individual or a business experiences a flow of energy and resources. And in the areas where the emotional system is dysfunctional, you or your business experiences struggle and resistance. If you take a moment, you can easily feel this. If you imagine a situation where you are in complete fearlessness, I know this can be a challenge. Maybe when you look into your child's eyes, take a walk through the woods, or pet your cat, you will experience a complete sense of flow and ease in that moment. On the other hand, when you think of a situation that causes worry or fear, maybe thinking about your financial commitments or the uncertainty of a job situation, you can immediately feel a sense of dis-ease, of struggle or frustration. This is your emotional system at work. So, when people come together to form a company or a new relationship, they are creating a new entity with its own emotional system. The entity's emotional system is a direct reflection of the emotional blueprint, the emotional health, function or dysfunction of the people involved in this entity. So we can notice in business settings, for example, that if a company has a problem in a certain area, if it cannot attract funding, the team has conflicts, sales are stagnating, there's a dysfunction in the emotional system of the team that translates directly into the problems of the organization. And furthermore, these problems are usually in the blind spot of the company's leaders and therefore resist resolution. So recognizing that problems in businesses or any relationship are caused by the emotional blueprint of the team, and in particular that of the leaders, we can see that it is difficult to solve problems in an organization in a sustainable way using traditional approaches, such as working harder, changing strategies, or exerting more dominance and control. However, once we as leaders become conscious and accountable for our contribution to the emotional system, we will find that problems in our relationships, our businesses will dissolve, allowing our success to grow with far more ease and flow. You can see that we will be dealing with a very potent subject in this segment, which can have a far-reaching impact in your life, the way we work and do business, and in the world at large. So let's start diving in. Let's take a look at what the emotional system is made of, its elements, and how it plays out in our world.